Hello, my name is Megan Faust and I'm the Casey County 4-H agent. And today we're cooking with Commodities. And this month you all are going to be getting shrimp in your package. And so what better way to fix our shrimp than to have an Italian shrimp pasta. So we're going to go over our ingredients. I already have our pasta boiling over here, so the timer will go off in a few minutes. And we're going to fix this super simple and very tasty pasta dish. So you're going to need 1 pound of whole wheat linguine or angel hair pasta noodles. We are actually using angel hair today and we were only able to find the white. So we don't have whole wheat and that's perfectly fine. 3 tablespoons of olive oil divided because we're gonna be using them at different times in the recipe. 1 pound of frozen, peeled, and deveined shrimp, thawed. And I've already peeled all of our shrimp, but I have one that I can show you how to peel because sometimes they do not come peeled. You're gonna use half a packet of Italian seasoning. So I already have divided that out. And then we have 8 ounces of fresh mushrooms. I've gone ahead and sliced those. You can also use canned. And then 2 cups of fresh spinach. You can also use frozen. You just wanna make sure you get all the water out if you're gonna use that. And that's it. So we have the pasta boiling. I did salt our water because that helps a little bit with the flavor of our pasta. And so I have our skillet heating to medium heat, and we're going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the skillet. And so the first thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be cooking our shrimp. So with our shrimp, I have them already deveined, but I saved one because this is usually what they look like. And so what you want to do is you want to pull that skin off because we don't want to eat that. And then you're also going to peel off, it just feels like a hard shell, and you want to make sure to peel that off. And deveined means that they've taken pretty much the waste out of the shrimp. And so we don't have anything in there, and these are good to go. So I'm going to make sure that this oil is hot, and then we're going to go ahead and add our shrimp in there. You hear that sizzle, which means the skillet is nice and hot. And there's our pasta. We'll go ahead and toss these shrimp in, and I'm gonna drain our pasta so it doesn't get overcooked. And with it being angel hair pasta, it's gonna cook a whole lot quicker. So we wanna make sure we don't have overcooked pasta. So I'm gonna let the shrimp cook. I'm gonna go ahead and drain our pasta. Right, I'm gonna leave that on so it stays nice and moist. Our shrimp is cooking, and shrimp cooks pretty quickly. So I'm going to get some tongs and flip this over. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in the mushrooms and the spinach. Oh, and I also forgot, silly me, to also add in our Italian seasoning. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually give that a quick toss with our shrimp so we can incorporate those Italian seasonings. If you're like me, I read recipes and I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, and then I forget something. So it's always good, and I'm not always the best at it, but it's always good to make sure you read completely through the recipe and make sure you have everything you need for your recipe. So our shrimp are turning pink, or they're getting there, but they still are a little undercooked, so we're gonna add in our mushrooms. And mushrooms tend to cook pretty quickly. I'm gonna give these just a stir a little bit, and then I'm gonna add in my spinach. The spinach really just wilts, and it cooks very quickly. Okay, so now we're gonna add in our spinach. Got some big leaves, I'll tear those up. And what I like to do with my fresh spinach is I like to go through and pick off the long stems. Just depending on the dish, sometimes those stems can kind of stick out or poke you when you're eating. So taking off those stems gives it like a nice clean look with your dish. And remember, you can use canned mushrooms, jarred mushrooms, and for the spinach, you can get either like the big blocks of spinach that are frozen, or I think you can even get like a bag of just like chopped spinach that's frozen. And at least with that, it has a longer shelf life. You just want to make sure you get all the moisture out of it, because it'll kind of water down your dish if you don't. So I'll show you, but as you can see, it's starting to wilt just a little bit. So it really doesn't take long at all. So we have the olive oil, we have our shrimp, we have our mushrooms, and now we have our spinach. Let this wilt just a little bit longer, and then we mix it together. So it's super simple. Now, my husband and I love to add garlic and onions to just about anything we cook. So feel free to add some other spices in there. We always have fresh garlic at our house, so fresh garlic, and we would saute that first to then add in, or probably add it in with the shrimp. And then you could even add in butternut squash, or we love sweet potatoes. So anything to add some color, because that color means that we're adding vitamins and nutrients to our dish. So that big bowl of spinach has now wilted down, and there's hardly anything left. So you can always add more too. So I'm gonna let this saute just a little bit longer because there is a little bit of liquid in there. So we're gonna let that evaporate, and then we'll toss it all together. Okay, so we ended up draining a little bit of liquid off just because we didn't want that in our pasta. And I went ahead and put our pasta in a bowl. And I did put a little bit of olive oil in there because pasta tends to stick together a bit. And we're gonna add our extra 2 tablespoons of olive oil to that. So, show you what it looks like. All right. We'll see if we can toss it a little bit with this. Oh, it smells so good too, and so simple. You've got a little bit of the seasoning from the Italian seasoning, and like I said, you can definitely amp up those flavors. And we're going to add in 2 more tablespoons of olive oil. And there you have it, a simple and tasty Italian shrimp pasta. Enjoy!